Okay, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual notice of the regularly scheduled meetings of the municipal council for the year 2022, was published as legal advertisement in the Herald News on record on December 11th, 2021. Further notice of this meeting was given on the Friday prior to the meeting by posting the said notice on the bulletin board at the City Hall and on the City of Clifton website, which notice stated that formal action may or not be taken on matters come before the municipal council. Roll call.
Councilman Igler?
Present.
Councilman Gibson?
Here.
Councilman Grabowski?
Here.
Councilwoman Murphy? Councilwoman Pino?
Here.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Here.
Mayor Anzaldi?
Here.
We have a quorum.
This evening's invocation will be given by Iman Quadrani, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please rise.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Chapter 2 of the Holy Quran, verse 256. Allah, there is no God but Him, the living, the self-subsisting, and all-sustaining. Slumber seizes Him not, nor sleep. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Who is He that will intercede with Him except by His permission? He knows what is before them and what is behind them, and they encompass nothing of His knowledge except what He pleases. His knowledge extends over the heavens and the earth, and the care of them burdens Him not. And He is the high, and He is the great. We praise you, O Lord, and thank you for the opportunity that you have given our mayor, various levels of city officials, and in particular, all those who are assembled here today in this council meeting to work for a noble cause of serving the people of Clifton. In the heavenly guided scriptures, O Lord, you have commanded us, the citizens, to obey the governing authorities to promote peace, harmony, order, and justice for all. In that regard, we have gathered here today with the intent to make plans to improve the quality of life for our fellow citizens. May our efforts be blessed with your guidance filled with true knowledge and wisdom. We seek your support, O Lord, to serve the community with equality and justice for the benefits of all citizens. O Lord of universe, as we begin this meeting, we ask that you guide our thoughts and our actions so that we are honest in our deliberations, productive in our actions, and successful in our goals. O Lord, we ask your blessings on the mayor and the city council. O Lord, we also seek your blessings and beg safety for our city workers, for our firefighters, and for our police officers. Over Almighty God, bless the city of Clifton with great progress and prosperity. O ever gracious God, ever merciful, kindly continue to bless our city, our county, our state, and the United States of America. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Iman. Can we have a motion to approve minutes?
Motion to, second.
Objections so ordered. Petitions and communications.
Various communications submitted by the city manager. Meeting minutes of the Board of Adjustment of November 2nd, Passaic Valley Water Commission of September 28th, North Jersey District Water Supply Commission of September 28th, Clifton Senior Advisory Committee of November 1st, Board of Adjustment Special Meeting of October 26th, Alcoholic Beverage Control Board of October 12th, and this concludes communications.
Communications are received and filed. Okay, ordinances?
Second reading ordinances, 7776. An ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 439 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Vehicles and Traffic, more particularly Section 439-33 thereof, entitled Speed Limits Established. Amend speed limit to 25 miles per hour on both sides of Broad Street, County Road 509, from northerly Clifton line to the southerly Clifton line.
A public hearing be held on this ordinance. Does anyone wish to be heard?
Mayor, if no one wishes to be heard, I move that the public hearing be closed as ordinance be adopted upon final approval tonight.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. 7777, an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 227 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Fingerprinting, more particularly Section 227-2 thereof, entitled Hours, amends time by appointment only.
A public hearing be held on this ordinance. Does anyone wish to be heard?
Mayor, if no one wishes to be heard, I move the public portion be closed and this ordinance adopted upon final affirmative vote.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. First reading ordinances, 7778, an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 439 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Vehicles and Traffic, more particularly Section 439-37 thereof, entitled Handicap Parking on Streets, deletes 3 handicap spaces.
Move it on first.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. 7779, an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 439 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Vehicles and Traffic, more particularly Section 439-38 thereof, entitled Handicap Parking on Streets for Private Residences, adds 12 restricted handicap spaces.
Move it on first.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. 7780, an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 439 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Vehicles and Traffic, more particularly Section 439-38 thereof, entitled Handicap Parking on Streets for Private Residences, deletes 4 restricted handicap spaces.
Move it on first.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy? Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. 7781, an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 439 of the Code of the City of Clifton entitled Vehicles and Traffic, more particularly Section 439-38 thereof, entitled Handicap Parking on Streets for Private Residences, amends handicap parking placard number.
Move it on first.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler?
Yes.
Councilman Gibson?
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sedgwick?
Yes.
Mayor Ansaldi?
Yes.
Motion carried. This concludes ordinances, Mayor.
The ordinance will be published in accordance with the law. Mr. Villano?
Hi, Mayor, I just have one item. I didn't get a chance to congratulate the new council, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you all. To quote Mr. William Marcy, to the victor go the spoils. and in this case, the spoils is a budget that we're going to have to put thinking caps on and hope for some money to fall from the sky, among other problems that we're inheriting. But I look forward for these next 4 years to work with you and the new members. To those of you who didn't make to those candidates who didn't get elected, I encourage you to stay involved with the city, because we need your voice, we need your ideas, and use these next 4 years to dedicate your time to the city, to help us get on committees or whatever other things are available to you, so you can help come to the meeting and help us, with these tough decisions. And lastly, Mr. Mayor, Peter, I want to thank you both for all the knowledge and all the expertise you have given me over these years. I appreciate the talks we've had, and I appreciate all the positive words that you've instilled in me, and you helped me along the way. So there'll be time for us to give our farewells, but I just wanted to acknowledge you and thank you both for your dedication and everything that I've gotten from your knowledge that you passed down to me. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so next portion is hearing to the public. Only in 33 years, I think I've only read this 3 times, but I'm going to read it tonight at the insistence of one of my council persons who suggested I do it, so that people understand that we like decorum in this room. The public comments portion will proceed. Please use the microphone and state your name and address for the record. You could talk on any subject. Speaking is permitted for 5 minutes only. Please refrain from emotional applauses either in favor of or against the speaker. In order to maintain decorum, I request that no derogatory statements be made against any person. Members of the council are asked to refrain from responding to the public at this time, as according to our rules of order. You may respond after the privilege of the floor comes. So let's go on to the public.
Good evening, everyone, Mayor and Council. I just want to start off thanking everyone for all your support these last few months leading up to Election Day. We had a very short campaign season to pull off our win. Yes, our win, because like I've always said, this isn't about me, but this is about us. The overwhelming petitions, sign requests, campaign fundraiser attendees, volunteer requests, etc., have truly humbled me. This was a David and Goliath fight, as you heard me say, and yet we prevailed. We fought hard against the establishment machine. We always kept our campaign integrity above the bar. I plan on hitting the ground running on our contract with Clifton agenda, making those drastic changes to the master plan, zoning laws to end future high-density housing, and then focusing on the quality of life issues like the traffic, the infrastructure problems, and the flooding mitigation. This has become a #1 issue for all the residents living in Clifton. That being said, I'm asking you, the residents, to keep the pressure on myself and my future council colleagues to make sure that happens in a timely manner. We can't rectify the problems until we stop making them worse. Feasibility study. I came in a couple minutes late. I heard that come up. I guess there's some type of timeline. I heard you say, Mr. Villano. I just hope we need to stay with that timeline. I'm just curious if there's certain things we can do while we do that Third River Pearl Brook feasibility study. I know it's come up in the past that there's some acre lands where we can do small retention ponds. Is that something we can do now while we wait the longer term solutions? The Pearl Brook cleaning, I know we can't put machinery in there because of EPA laws, but can we do something about getting the hands-on cleaning logs, rocks, anything that maybe is preventing that flow? And another big one is, I brought it up at the zoning board meeting, is with Passaic Valley Water. I've been in places before, I've seen it done in the military, where when there's a big storm coming, we have Passaic Valley Water, and we have the reservoir on top. So if there's a big storm coming, in the day or two before, can we work with them where they open up the water, let it flow down, so when the storm does come, we're not already starting with a storm where the water table is already at the top. So if that's something we look at doing, where at least we'll have more containment of that water during that time. Transparency to the public, people heard me talk about that a lot. One thing I plan on working with my council colleagues is bringing layman terms to our future council agenda. So when we're reading things, it's not just Chapter 99, subsection B, changes to salary or benefits, where we'll clearly say what those changes are so the residents have an idea what's going on. Grants. I know we have a grant writer. It came up, I think, Councilman Sajikul or someone brought up with the grants. There are billions and billions of dollars in grants. I don't know if the council ever considered, but I'm going to ask to consider is there's people that work on grants that they take a percentage of what they offer. So there's all these unknown grants that we don't know about. So if we get someone to bring us millions and millions of dollars of grants, that we hire them per se, but they don't get a city salary, but if they bring us millions of dollars, we come up with a percentage, 3%, 5%, whatever that is, that they can get that, and then there's no cost to the taxpayers because it's actually going to bring us in more money. Mr. Villano already stole my thunder with some great council candidates I met along the line running on this campaign that have so much to offer to the city, and it's something us as a board in the new council term really needs to look as a council to put them on boards and take what they have to offer in their wheelhouse of to bring to the table. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you all for the overwhelming support on Tuesday. As you heard me say many times, I plan to bring my military and firefighter experience to the table, and I am a problem solver, and I will work with our council together, and I promise I won't let you down. Thank you.
How do I do this? Oh, there we go. Lily D'Amato, 8 Merrill Road. First, I want to take a moment to congratulate our new council, Board of Education commissioners, and everyone who ran. Also, a big thank you to our Facebook moderators for providing so many outlets for our voters to learn about our candidates. I also want to take a moment to specifically and publicly recognize my husband, Chris D'Amato, for his strong showing throughout the campaign and on Election Day. Considering that we've only lived in Clifton for 3.5 years and that Chris only really got out knowing people in August, the fact that he earned 5,200 votes is an astounding feat. It is a testament to his pure intent of simply wanting to help the city. It's just unfortunate that he didn't get quite enough votes. Now imagine me, Chris's wife, his #1 champion, with months of a self-imposed order of silence. After Election Day, I was furious and I was ready to give everyone a piece of my mind. But Chris reminded me that even though the order of silence is gone, it is important to stay productive. With a few days between then and now, like any emotional person with the gift of time, I have calmed down and I have chosen to take my husband's sage advice and stay productive. How can I be productive here? Taking a brief step back, since Chris has been the one Clifton has gotten to know over the past few months, I think it's important to share before I go on that I too have had a long career in creative communication. We're a pretty cool team, if I do say so myself. For the last 10 years, I've worked in restaurants in training and development, specializing in management and leadership training. When Chris mentioned that we needed to stay productive, it reminded me of one of the training modules that I've facilitated over the years. It is one of the keys to productivity, and that's prioritization. Since Chris has been able to share his talents for the good of Clifton, I thought I may try to contribute myself from the constituent side. So when discussing prioritization to a room full of managers, I typically have a flip chart, and I draw an x-axis and a y-axis. On the y-axis, I write important, and on the x-axis, I write urgent. When figuring out how to prioritize, you have to determine what is important and what is urgent. Then I begin to explain the different quadrants. Which of your tasks are both important and urgent? These are the tasks that cannot by any means wait, or firefighting tasks. In the restaurant industry, I give the example that if the Department of Health walks in, you're not going to tell the officer, I'm sorry, can you give me a few minutes? I'm a little busy, right? Now, many times the managers in this course get this wrong. They say something like placing orders or counting a cash drawer, but really those belong in the upper left quadrant. That is important but not urgent. Why? Because these are tasks that you can plan for. You know when your orders are due, you know when you need to count a cash drawer, so therefore they are not urgent. So let's think of these tasks for our city council. What tasks are both important and urgent? The firefighting tasks. We may come up with different answers, but if I have our current or next council in the room, I would offer suggestions such as brown water and flooding. These are emergencies that cannot be handled with a "can you give me a few minutes" kind of answer. So which tasks are important but not urgent? Again, with the council in my training room, I would offer the suggestions of overdevelopment and the city budget, because these are things that you can plan for. And by planning for those things, you help mitigate the important and urgent tasks like flooding and brown water. For the sake of time, I'll not go into too much detail on the bottom two quadrants, but not important, not urgent, and not important, highly urgent, fall under the category of what's the point, and the lesson there is to get rid of the task altogether or delegate it. Again, if the council were in my training room, I'd offer suggestions of tasks or habits like internal drama, defensiveness, and laying sidewalks in another city. But we're just going to breeze over that for the sake of time. We need our city council to be productive now and for the next 4 years. To do that, we need you to prioritize. We need you to have a real understanding of what is important and what is urgent and act accordingly. Everything else is noise. I understand and accept that my husband didn't win, and that's okay, because it wasn't ever about Chris. It is what is best for Clifton. I hope the glimpse into my training class on prioritization will help this and the next council, and I look forward to helping more as a private citizen in the future. Thank you.
Good evening, Dominic Iannarella, 98 Rolling Hills Road. I just wanted to come out tonight very briefly and thank everyone that voted, whether you voted for me or not. The most important thing is that everyone last Tuesday exercised their right to democracy, their right to vote. And I think that that is really something very special that we need to always remember when it is election season. To everyone that did support me, the love that I got from people, the votes was really tremendous, and I really appreciated this whole process. It was a tough 8 months, but it was one where my family grew. I got to know people around the city, and I will never, ever lose that and regret coming out to do this, because it was really a tremendous experience that I felt made me grow as a person, made me grow, as I said during the last council meeting, deeper in love with Clifton overall. I want to congratulate everyone that was elected. Really a great showing by everyone. It was a great campaign season. There's going to be 2 new faces up there, and I think that's really a wonderful thing for the city, that we're going to have some fresh blood and some blood that's going to hopefully move the city forward. And with that, I just want to end on everyone that ran because they cared. Everyone that came out ran because they had something that they thought they could offer. And I just implore everyone that's going to be up there on January 1st to really remember that, and remember that this was about moving the city forward. This is about the good and the interests of the Clifton residents. And you won for a reason, and I hope that during these next 4 years, you will really take that to heart and take to heart the reasons why we all expressed during this campaign season why we were doing this, and really push forward and put the residents first, because that's the most important thing. And that's truly why I believe you're all up there, and you all will be up there coming in January. And I have this great hope and belief in my heart that the people who are elected will do the right thing for the people of Clifton. And I hope to see that to be true in 4 years from now. Thank you.
Chris D'Amato, 81 Merrill Road. I'm not going to be here long. I just wanted to offer congratulations to those who were elected. It was a heck of a race. I dare say at times it was even fun. So thank you all. And I wish the next council nothing but luck. And Joe Kaloje, if you're out there listening, good luck to you. Tony, good luck to you. I'm glad that we have big shoes to fill on this council. So it's exciting to see and be a part of. To everyone out there who voted for me, thank you. I mentioned this on a Facebook video, but if you're happy with the election results, all I would ask of you is to pay attention the next 4 years, make sure that everybody keeps their promises, all the things they said they were going to do, and just watch the meetings. That's what I ask of you. And if you weren't too happy with the election results, that's how it goes sometimes in a functional democracy. We're all going to be okay because we all have the same goal in mind, which is a happy, healthy, safe, productive Clifton. So I have faith in the people in this room on either side of the dais to make sure that happens. Now, it would have been very easy for me to, look, as my background as an actor trained me in the art of rejection. And there have been many times I've auditioned for a role, and then the production figures out that they can hire Jason Alexander, and out I go. So, but, I didn't sulk. I didn't head up to Patterson and give them my cannabis money. I got to work, and I spoke with somebody the day before the election, and they brought something to my attention, and I've been looking into it a little bit. So I want to summarily continue the good work that we all set out on as public servants and bring it to your attention. This person is a mental health professional that works here in the city. I don't want to identify them beyond that, unless they decide to at a different point. But they mentioned a shocking lack of resources or information when it comes to mental health professionals in the city of Clifton, either on our website or on any particular avenue of information from the city. So I just wanted to ask a couple questions, if you wouldn't mind addressing for me. Does the city have any mental health resources at all for residents? If not, are we able to look into perhaps listing or locating some affordable mental health services for people in the city, particularly adolescents, as we are in a mental health crisis for teenagers at this time in this country? And what is the city's relationship with organizations like Circle of Care, who looks into mental health resources for the county, and Perform Care, which does the same thing for the state? Just let me know where we stand on that, and because can't fix it if I don't know where we're at, and I feel like some of you might have some more insight on that. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Alessia Aramo, 35 Merrill Road. So for weeks I've been torturing the viewing public with promises that I was going to work for you, but today I'm just going to torture you briefly with a few quick notes. So first, congrats to all the winners. And second, I just want to talk to the voters for a second. Thank you to the over 5,000 people who voted for me. I'm grateful for all the support I felt over these last few months. And I came close despite everything I was up against. So thank you for putting your trust in me. Thank you to everyone who voted for me. Thank you to everyone who helped me in big and little ways. Thank you for the messages of encouragement, and thank you to the candidates who made me feel like we were in it together and are now my friends. So the decision to run for council came after years of showing up, so I will continue to show up. Last week after the election, I had an environmental commission meeting and a beautification committee planting day, so I'm right back to doing what I was doing. And I still want to work for you, even if I didn't make it to council this time around. So please feel free to reach out. So now back to business. I have some questions. I think they are all for the city manager. I was home watching the work session, and I had a few questions regarding the feasibility study. So I have three. Mr. Villano, I hope you remember them at the end. The first question is, what is the cost of the feasibility study? The second question is, was the feasibility study bid out to other firms to see if we could get a better price or a quicker timeline, and if not, why? And number three is, where can we get a copy of the RFP or the scope of work of the feasibility study? So first question was the cost. Second question was it bid out? And number three, can we get a copy of the scope of work? And then also, there was some talk about writing into the contract the expected date of completion. As far as I know, that's a totally normal thing to write into an engineering contract. Even when we do work On our house, I write in a penalty clause for not completing the work on time. So if you don't put it in, then there's nothing you'll be able to do about it if they go over. And regardless of whether they're a good firm or a bad firm, just why not put it in to write in more protections for the affected residents? So I guess that's my request, in addition to the questions, is for that just to be added into the contract. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, motion's in order.
Mayor, if no one wishes to be heard, I move the public portion be closed.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Valano. The question on mental health, I know we still have a contract with SERV, don't we, or some kind of
No,
agreement?
we don't no longer have the contract
Okay.
with SERV for the public. So if you remember, a few years back, we changed that because the service is provided to the employees under the health plan, and the use by the public wasn't. It was very minimal, so it wasn't really worth continuing and offering. But that's something that you may want to relook at in the.
How about, I
the
think
new
it was
year.
I think it was mentioned about young people too. The schools have various mental health services. Maybe we can get that for council to look at?
Yeah, actually, I
Just to
brought
see-
that to
so
you.
you-
I think that's something that we need to start
Yeah.
to look into.
It's important today because I think
yeah.
post-COVID, I think there's a lot of need for it.
I agree. Yep.
And the questions that were just asked about the engineering study,
Yes.
did you get all three?
It's 133,000 is the
Okay.
fee. The other question is, were other firms considered? So these are, no, they weren't. We didn't get other quotes. And the reason is this, is that under a professional service contract, you could pretty much choose a particular consulting firm to do the work under the bidding laws. In this case, it helps to have the people that did the study continue with the feasibility because they have all the information. So in essence, they have the advantage and in essence could provide a lower price. If you recall, when we did the original quotes for the original study, they were in the tune of about 200,000, and this particular firm came in about 50. So the original quote was about 200,000.
So there was original competition of some kind in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, yes,
Yeah,
we
okay.
got different consultants
Okay,
to provide
it's
quotes.
just so that they know clearly.
The scope of work, we can, Ms. Aramo, you can Oprah a copy and we could just give you a copy of it. And it's very detailed as to what they're including. Just one thing on the penalty clause. Penalty clause are typically put in for contractors, not so much for engineers or professional services. I mean, you're expecting to be at a higher level, but, you know, that's not always the case. But in this case, we did not ask for the penalty clauses because we felt that the time frame they provided was sufficient. And again, what I stated is that when they present us with the schedule, we'll make sure that they adhere to that schedule. And if it seems like there's going to be delayed, we could control as to why the project is being delayed or going off a tangent. So that's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Those are the questions that I wrote down. So, floor to the council. Councilwoman Santer-Cool, your first time.
Good evening. I believe there was another question. I believe Tony asked if about Passaic Valley water draining reservoirs before an expected storm.
So with that, and that's something we would have to discuss with Passaic Valley Water, but in essence, the reservoir is used to store clean water, right? They treat the water and they pump it into the reservoir so they could draw from it again. That's something that we would have to ask Passaic Valley, are you willing to release that water? Because in essence, it's already treated and ready to go into the houses. So that's not our decision. That would be up to Passaic Valley, whether they could drain the reservoir down in anticipation of a storm. We do that at the main Memorial Pond. When we're expecting a large storm, we lower the water level so it allows for additional water to be stored in the pond. It's a common practice, but again, this is something that would have to be a decision of the Passaic Valley Water.
Thank you. Speaking of Passaic Valley Water, I believe Passaic Valley Water goes to Passaic as one of the owner cities and gives a report and meets with their elected officials in their city on a quarterly basis. I'd like to see if that is something that they would be willing to do here for starting next year, because I think it's important. And as many people have said, we've got to get this groundwater situation corrected. It's past the point of even being ridiculous. So if we could look into that and contact them and see if they would be willing to come here and once a quarter and meet with us, I think that would be very, very good. Again, is there anything we can do about cleaning out the Third River hand-wise, not with machinery, while this study is being done?
Yes, it can be done only by hand. You cannot bring any machines in, nor can you implement any of those measures that Mr. Latona was talking about. In other words, if you want to start the detention, you can't, because part of the feasibility study is, can you put in a detention? So these are the feasibility study will determine what can and can't be done.
What can we do? Can we make sure that the culverts are clean and
Yes.
different with branches and stuff?
I went by there today to inspect all the culverts, make sure there's nothing hung up on them, that they're free of branches and things. And yes, what the crews are going to start doing is in anticipation of a rain, we're going to make sure that all those culverts are clear and nothing is blocking the...
And speaking of that, and I do believe we have a street sweeper schedule, but I know more and more residents are posting about cleaning storm drains on their street. So if we can have a schedule that we know that that's done, because the leaves do accumulate.
And I
that
also
does
asked
block it.
the resident not to blow the leaves into the road. I know it happens with the wind, but it's a stormwater management ordinance that we have. So you typically don't want the leaves to get into and clog the drains. So that's part of the city's ordinance.
A couple of things as well. Crosswalks on 3rd. I know the crosswalk by the park was painted, but coming down, I believe over the weekend, I noticed there's so many, Luddington and all the side streets, the crosswalks aren't even visible. And now that it gets dark so early, do we have a schedule of all crosswalks that should be painted and when they will? Because
Yes.
those are terrible, and I'm sure it's all over.
Yep. And what we just did, we just allocated, you had given us money. I just reallocated part of that money to do another project of labeling the crosswalk.
And I know on Passaic Avenue, I think it's by Crest Hill, that is just terrible as well. Follow up for a couple of things from last meeting, the lights by the train station. Is there any progress on that to improve that?
We reported it, and I'm hopeful that they'll brighten the area up.
Do we have any idea of when it will be done?
That I can't tell you. That's once it's reported, it's up to PSCNG.
Okay. Chris, great suggestions about the mental health. I don't know if the county, what programs they have, but those were good suggestions. I look forward to hearing more from you about those, because it is an issue. I do believe the schools have something in place for adolescents, whatever age it is, but I think that is important in this day and age that it is. And thank you for bringing it up. Mr. Villano, Z Transportation, did you provide the resident with that information?
Yes,
from
I did.
last meeting?
I did, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Veterans Parade, it was a wonderful event, and I'd like to thank the committee for all the hard work. That parade takes not only a lot of time, a lot of effort, but also a lot of money and fundraising. I'm sad to hear that will be Keith Oakley's last parade, as he is moving next year, and they're big shoes to fill between Frank Gascione and Keith Oakley. I don't know who's going to step up to the table to take that on, but we do need someone, because our veterans need to be honored, not just on Veterans Day, but every day of the year for the sacrifices that they have given us. And I believe that's it. Everyone have a safe Thanksgiving, and please remember those that are in need. So again, let's help our neighbors if we can. But everyone be safe, and please drive carefully. It gets dark now. The leaves are wet. The speeding is atrocious. I don't care where you are throughout the city. I will continue to advocate for speed tables. I think they're very much needed, the way Montclair has them in very high residential areas, Main Street, which is Upper Mountain Avenue. So again, please take it easy and stop when there's someone in the crosswalks. But thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's packet had a letter from Mr. John Pocarella Sr., Esquire, announcing that he was stepping down as the attorney for the zoning board after 47 years of service to the city. John has always worked in a very professional manner, in a very gentlemanlike effect when it came to the zoning board, knows the zoning laws of our city and the state, and it's a great loss to that board. The councilor has already, during the conference session, recommended a resolution to be given to him, and we want to wish him all the best in all his future endeavors, and to his entire family who have dedicated their entire life to helping the citizens of Clifton. The Richfield section this weekend is going to be the 5 Mile Stampede. So that is going to go through the neighborhood on Sunday morning, so from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So various roads are going to be closed off between Clifton Avenue, Pershing, and Irma, and Van Houten Avenue, and to the areas around the high school, so the Stampede can come back here. So if you're traveling, going to church early on Sunday morning, please remember the road's going to be closed, so you should look for an additional route so that you don't get stuck in the traffic until the road opens up. Speaking of New Jersey Transit and our train station, we need to address with New Jersey Transit. There is no handicap way of getting off from the Patterson side, going into Patterson. If you get on the train in Secaucus, and you're on a handicap, you can't now walk down all those stairs on the westbound side into Patterson. So during the day, the train comes back onto the other side and lets people off, but during the evening hours, if we're after 4 o'clock, so we have to address with New Jersey Transit, making that New Jersey Transit train station better handicap accessible, because it's not properly handicap accessible at the present time. The election's over. We're now on to Thanksgiving. There's many programs in the city for our people that need help. St. Peter's Haven is collecting food. And if you really want to see Clifton in action, the best of Clifton, go there this Sunday afternoon to St. Peter's Haven. Bring your canned goods, bring your stuffing mixes, bring it to St. Peter's Haven, and just sit outside in the parking lot for a few minutes and watch the various organizations that come through, from the religious organizations to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, to the various service organizations in the city, who come one after another in the little vans and little trucks and dropping off things to help those in need. St. Peter's Haven is feeding over 1,000 families per month and could definitely use any assistance that you give. We realize that times are a little bit more because of inflation, but please try to be as generous as possible. In addition, the Power of One is also helping people out. There will be a giveaway of 100 boxes of food down at our satellite office down in Botany Village on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving from 3 until 6. And on Thanksgiving Day, for those people that are home, that are alone, that maybe husband and wife don't want to be alone because their family's not around, you can go to the Elks Club. The Power of One will have a meal for you on Thanksgiving Day. You need to call to make a reservation, and the number to call is 862-239-5905, 862-239-5905. I believe with the election over, it is now time for the city to heal. We need to work closer together, and it needs to be healing. I want to thank all the candidates who ran, whether they won or they lost. Thank you for giving up your time and your families for 9 months for this long campaign. I want to thank the voters who took the time out of their schedules to vote. I was hoping that it would be a much larger turnout. Only about 35% of the town voted, which during a national election and for a midterm, 35% is like the average. But you would think that with 17 candidates for city council, 8 candidates for school board, and both parties having somebody from Clifton, with 27 candidates in the city of Clifton, it would be a much larger vote. And when you look at the numbers that the county has posted so far, the percentages in some districts are very, very good, 45 to 50%. But in other neighborhoods, it's only 16 to 20%. So we have a lot of work to do. Because why did 65% of the town not decide to vote? Did we have an issue that they thought was important? Is there too much negativity? And because they don't want something to vote against, they want something to vote for. So there's a lot of things that need to be done during the next 4 years. I wish the new council all the best. And I'm here if you need me. I'm available. I'm not going away. I'm not moving out of town. I'm going to be here. And we look forward to seeing everybody. Stay healthy. Have a great Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful for. I'm thankful just to be here tonight. But I'm thankful just to get up every day. But so much to be thankful for in our country. So much. Look at the people of Ukraine that were liberated this past weekend. They're cheering. They're dancing in the streets. Your heart goes out to them. They suffered this for 8 months. And we have so much here to be thankful for. Let's all work together because all we got is each other. And that's all I have to say. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's get on to the holiday season.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Councilman Eagler. Just so I understand it correctly, the train station you're referring, is that the Cornelius Ave or the Delawana?
The train station is the one here on
Cornelius and Elm Street there?
Elm Street, yes.
Yeah.
And Clifton Boulevard.
You're referring to we'll call it the westbound?
Correct.
So and you're right, there is no ADA accessibility.
There is no ADA access there.
And
so if you're coming after 4 o'clock,
right,
you cannot, you got to get off in Passaic.
So I will bring it to their attention. However, the new project that's going on at Paulison and Clifton Ave,
right,
that will tie into the train station.
Well, we haven't seen those plans
there will
yet.
Be an interconnection.
Let's hope that happens. But let's not let it slide by with the new council coming in and changes coming, let's not let it go by the wayside. Let's remind them.
Well, I want to check that to see if it's in the plan that shows, that a ADA, a person, the disabled person can get from the train station down to the ground and into their vehicle. But I'll follow up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to congratulations my colleagues and my new colleagues, Joe and Tony, and all the best. So we really are going to move forward our city. I want to thank all the candidates for their professionalism during the campaign, as they all had something to bring to the table and all have Clifton at heart. I want to thank them for their friendship and their we acquired with our families together. We all became pretty close, and I want to thank you for that. I do have a statement to make tonight that just bothered me a little bit, but I want to make sure that it's very clear. There was a comment that was made during our campaign that needs to be addressed. There were a couple times that the word corruption came up. I firmly believe that the city and its government is squeaky clean. If anyone has any information about any corruption, you better be getting on the phone, and the first person you should be calling is the prosecutor's office or the Attorney General's office. Because if you do not do that, you are just as guilty as the person that's doing the corruption. Enough said. I feel obligated, and I want to thank the following people, because I had a lot of people working very hard for me during my campaign season. So just bear with me, but they definitely need their due because they work so hard for me. So Gina and Kathy and the whole Velez family, Renee, Stephanie, Loretta, Tammy Steele, my son Billy, Tyler, Alyssa, Jessica. I have to thank you so much for dedicating your time and taking your time out to do so much for me. But I do have to say that I have a special thanks for Joanne Bellini, who literally ran miles for me during this campaign. It would not, there's not enough that I could say for this young lady. She came to my house, she took care of my dog, she took care of my house, she did everything for us so we could spend time to get out to do what we had to do. So Joanne, thank you from the bottom of my heart and from my family. And, of course, here it comes. I have to say my campaign manager, I have to say special thanks to my campaign manager, who was so focused and left no stone unturned, my beautiful, amazing wife, Robin. Craziness, but I love every second of it. And if you know her, you gotta know, you just have to love that lady. So Robin, thank you very much. I want to congratulate Dylan Urban, son of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Urban, for graduating the United States Marine Corps Academy. He's a great young man and comes from a well-respected family in our city. So Dylan, congratulations, and Bob, I know how proud you are. Through you, Mayor, to the city manager, I just want to bring things up because I happen to be looking at Chris D'Amato tonight, and we're talking about communication. And it sticks in my mind, and I got to tell you, Chris, this is one of the things that I'll probably be picking your brain over this, and I think it's great. So I'm going to start now. So I called Mr. Villano over the weekend. I usually text Mr. Villano on a Sunday because I get a list of things that comes from the people of the city, and then I bring, the way of our form of government, I send it out to Mr. Villano, and I'll give the list of what I've received. So I want the people to know that issues that I spoke with Mr. Villano about were the hiring of 5 parking enforcement officers. Looking forward for next year, this will actually help, and I'd like to put it for discussion purposes for maybe next meeting. I'd like to see what we can do for outsourcing 10 school crossing guards. There's reasons why the number 10 is important. It's going to free up our officers. It'll take care of some of the crossing guards that have either taken sick or they're on vacation or whatever. So this way, it'll augment what we have also. But I'm also in favor of keeping the crossing guards that we have. Also, I happen to be brought up tonight about the lighting with reference to the train station. I received numerous complaints about that or concerns about that. So I brought it up to Mr. Villano about the lighting with reference to Clifton Boulevard, coming off the train, coming down the stairs, the safety issue going underneath the tunnel, the sidewalks, etc. And I think that's really important. Also, I don't know whether it goes through you, Mr. Villano, or I think actually it's probably through Nancy. Can we include Joe and Tony with our packets for the next 2 meetings? So that this way we can kind of jump up and keep everybody going.
That's been normal practice in the past.
Okay, so if we can do that, I would appreciate that. Also, through you, Mayor, to Mr. Villano, engine company number 4 and engine company number 6, engine 4 over at Main and Allwood, and engine company number 6 at Broad and Van Houten. I've been asked if we could put the do not block the box paint at those locations. I know that at Engine Company number 5, we have done that, and it's helped out a lot for safety reasons. So if we can also maybe implement that, it would be great. This way we can kind of protect our firefighters also when they're bringing the ambulance in and out, and also the larger fire trucks. So if we could look into that, I would appreciate that. And from my family to yours, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to congratulate everyone who ran in the council race. I'd like to congratulate my colleagues that were reelected and the 2 new members that were elected. Everyone put 100% into the effort of running. I'd like to thank everyone who helped me in my campaign. I had a big committee, most of you know. They all did a great job. Everyone stepped up to the plate. My campaign manager, who was my sister Chris, and those who know her, she's very thorough. And I don't think I would have gotten what I've gotten without her help. She certainly worked day and night tirelessly to help me win this election. So I have to thank her publicly, and of course everyone else who helped me on the campaign. I can't say enough to everyone who's helped me. So thank you for all the people out there, and you know who you are that helped me. And just my condolences to Mr. Brozniak. He had a tragedy on Election Day, loss of a family member, so I just want to send out condolences to him and his family. And of course, happy Thanksgiving. We have Thanksgiving. We won't meet back here till December, so Thanksgiving's the day you spend with your family, so enjoy it because family is very precious. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, for all of you that attend these meetings, you know that I'm heavily involved with the homeless population in Clifton, and tonight is the first code blue. Anytime the temperature goes below 32 degrees, by law, now we have to have a place that we can open up so that anyone that doesn't have a place to sleep will be taken care of. So tonight is the first night. This afternoon at my lunch hour for my real job, I went down to the recreation center. They had 17 cots set up. Each cot had a bag on it with blanket and other materials. We also have new sweats for each person that shows up so that they can take off their clothes that they've been wearing and put it in a plastic bag and leave it elsewhere, so that when they're inside the recreation department, they'll be wearing clean clothing. Tomorrow morning, there will be food delivered that was donated by a local diner. And the police, the community police, are out there right now going around Dundee Island Park and Botany Village to see if there's anyone that needs to go, and they will give them transportation. And tomorrow, when the temperature goes back up over 32, which according to my phone, it's going to be at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and they will transport them back to where they were picked up from. As I was doing that, I was on the phone with the sergeant of community policing, asking him, if they were starting the process, and he told me that they use I'm going to read it. The police department often refers people to perform care, especially the juvenile division. So that's a mental health facility, Mr. D'Amato, that the police use. I Googled it, and they're all over the state, and the police work with them a lot. And if anyone needs information about it, they can get in touch with me. The number is 1-877-652-7624, or they can go to performcarenewjersey.org, and they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Also, I was informed, I got the paperwork, but the sergeant also told me that on November 17th, which is Thursday, at 6:30, at School 17 Gymnasium on 316 Lexington Avenue, Botany Village residents and business owners are encouraged to attend. It's like City of Clifton Botany Village Neighborhood Watch So the health department's going to be there, and the community police will be there to answer any questions or talk to any of our citizens in that area about any concerns they have. I've gotten a lot of complaints this week about the gutters being clogged up with leaves. And of course, if we get a bad rainstorm, then that is problematic. So if you see that happening through you, Mayor, to the city manager, what should people do when that happens?
I'm sorry, Councilwoman, would you mind repeating the question?
What do people do if they see in their area that the gutters are clogged up with leaves and the water has nowhere to go if we have a bad storm?
Well, what I said before, the residents should not be putting leaves in the street because that's a violation of the Stormwater Management Act. It's an ordinance that we enforce. So really, you should not be blocking the gutter, or any leaves should not be placed near an inlet, a catch basin.
I don't think they're talking about leaves they put in the gutter. I'm talking about leaves that fell off trees and run down their street.
Well, that's what I mean. So you should try to keep the gutters cleared. We're having our sweepers go through, and we're picking a lot of them up. But what we're telling residents is don't blow them into the street, or don't, try to remove them from the gutters so that way the water can travel and it doesn't carry them into the catch basins, which ultimately clog up streams and things like that.
So there's not actually a number that they can call if they see a big clog?
Well, if it's a major clog, obviously report it to me.
Okay.
But if it's normal, like you see out there, this past couple of weeks, a lot of them came down, so you just see leaves everywhere. So we're just trying to get them picked up.
Okay, thank you. St. Peter's Haven, as Councilman Eagler said, is having their annual turkey giveaway. If anyone has a turkey they'd like to donate, you can get in touch with either myself or Councilman Grabowski. We'll be happy to pick it up. But the only thing is we can't bring it there till the 18th, 19th, or 20th because they don't have enough room to store in a freezer 150 turkeys. So if you would like to drop anything off yourself, the usual stuffing mix, cake mix, gravy, mashed potato mix, anything that would be good for a family in need, that they would have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. A few recreation notes. 24th Annual 5K Stampede through Clifton is Saturday, November 20th at 8:30 a.m., sponsored by Recreation and the Roadrunners Club. If you need information about this, you can call the Recreation Department, 973-470-5956. There's $25 charge, $20 for students, and if you register after the 17th, then it goes up $5 to $30. 2022 Holiday Door Decorating Contest registration deadline is December 2nd, and judging will begin on December 5th. Doors must be ready for judging by Monday, December 5th. And is that from the Beautification Committee? No, that's Recreation. Okay, thanks. Candyland, Santa Express train ride, candy cane hunt, Santa visit, letters to Santa, crafts, games, food. Saturday, December 10th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Clifton City Hall Complex, 900 Clifton Avenue. And again, if you want more information about your children participating in this, call 973-470-5680. Thank you to all the voters who voted for me. I hope I will continue doing the best I can for this city that we all love so much. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families. Thank you.
Okay. I guess everyone's seen that Councilwoman Pino is not on the dais. She wasn't feeling well, so she went home. I wanted everybody to know why she wasn't here. There's lots of things going to be happening before the next meeting because Christmas is around the corner. So the tree lighting, the Christmas tree lighting here at City Hall will be on December 4th at 5 o'clock. It's been a long traditional event that was started on Main Avenue at the old City Hall probably sometime after the war. And it's been a long-time tradition to have that each year, and it's a wonderful thing, and Public Works and everyone else works so hard to make the building look beautiful for the holiday. So you're all invited to that. That weekend on Friday, there are events at Botany and Lakeview for tree lightings. There's one in Athenia on Saturday. So there's a lot of events. And of course, Lauren just mentioned about Candyland, which has become a signature event now. Families just love it. Next week, Thursday, we as American people, many times over these last few years especially, you've heard me use the motto of the United States, E pluribus unum, which means from many we are one. Thanksgiving is that day when we all can celebrate together, no matter what religion, what background. We are one in giving thanks to God for this great country. And we have to remember those young men and women who are overseas protecting our freedom so that we could celebrate all these things that we do every year and their sacrifice for our nation. We also have to remember, especially on Thanksgiving and during the holiday season, those people who don't have enough. St. Peter's and places like that do such a wonderful job, Power of One, and so many other organizations, Toys for Tots, that'll be coming around the corner pretty soon. These are all things that make us a very, very special place to live. And certainly a signature city that has been so blessed by God. So on behalf of all of us in the city family of people, I wish you all a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving, and let us all look on to the month that we all look forward to every year, December, because it's the most beautiful month of the year. We will go on to resolutions.
Mayor?
Let's read the in-camera first. Can we read the in-camera first?
Mayor, I forgot to ask Mr. Villano one question. Is it
go
okay? Mr. Villano, can you give us an update on Station 1 and also the new temporary building that we're going to build at Station 3 to house the equipment?
Sure. Station 1 is under construction. They've removed the roof and they started putting a new roof on. I didn't get a chance to go inside. I don't know how much has actually been done as far as the electrical, but I know the contractor's mobilized and they've pretty much done the roof, so.
The temporary building?
Oh, and the
Station-
temporary building, we just received bids.
No, I thought we awarded it. I thought we awarded it. Didn't we award it? I thought we awarded it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm not-
remember, we talked
yeah.
about that you said it had to be done within a month?
Within a
So
month.
that was awarded like maybe 2 meetings
I
ago?
have to double check. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the company. Yeah.
I don't
I'll
think
have to
we-
check that for you, Council.
Please.
Sure.
Thank you, because it is getting cold. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so
Mayor.
in-camera session?
Items discussed in executive session. This evening were CON1 Jaquez Langford versus City of Clifton et al., CON2 IBEW contract negotiations 2022 to 25, CON3 confidential employee salary increases, CON4 salary increase for court administrator, CON5 Woodrow Wilson School easement negotiations. And I have late resolutions, Mayor. R538, resolution authorizing a shared service agreement between the County of Passaic and the City of Clifton for public health nurse case management and environmental inspections for lead poisoning pursuant to NJSA 40A:65-1 et sec. R539, Chapter 159, resolution amending 2022 city budget for additional revenue and appropriation, childhood lead exposure. R540, Chapter 159, resolution amending 2022 city budget for additional revenue and appropriation, firefighters grant. R541, resolution amending Resolution 627-21, authorizing the purchase of 3 Ford F-250 supervisors pickups from Route 23 Auto Mall off the New Jersey State Contract Purchasing Program pursuant to NJSA 48:11-12A.
Nancy, 523-22, I will abstain from that, so that has to be separate. And I also believe 531, I'll make a motion to table.
525.
And what was the other one?
525.
525. I'll make a motion to table 525 and 531.
Motion to table, is there a second?
Second.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Okay, Mayor, do you have any exceptions?
Yes, I have one upset. Page 3 of 20, 6472.
Motion, Councilman Eagler to chair.
Okay, we have a motion to
Second.
approve the exception. Motion made.
I'll
and
make the
seconded.
motion.
Is there a second?
647.
Second.
Roll call, please.
I don't even know who made the motion.
Motion was made by Councilman Gibson, seconded by
Second by me.
Councilwoman Sachakulo.
Slow down. Okay, Councilman Eagler.
Yes.
Councilman Gibson.
Yes.
Councilor Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy. Councilwoman Pino, absent. Councilwoman Sedrakula.
Yes.
Mayor Rinaldi, abstain.
Motion to move the group.
Move the group.
No,
have the-
523.
We have one more
Oh,
section.
right, yeah, 523.
23.
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler.
Yes.
Councilman Gibson.
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino, absent. Councilwoman Sedrakula.
Let the record show I left the days.
Mayor Rinaldi.
Yes.
Motion carried. Motion on the
Motion to
group.
move the group.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Eagler.
Yes.
Councilman Gibson.
Yes.
Councilman Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pino, absent. Councilwoman Sedrakula.
Yes.
Mayor Rinaldi.
Yes.
Motion carried. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.